When life feels heavy, do you feel like your days just blur together? Do you feel like you're constantly reacting instead of actually living? And does the thought of adding something else to your plate feel impossible? If that's you right now, you don't need more hustle, you need routines. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Cherry. I am a stay-at-home mom of 3 living in Hawaii. And this video is part of my Mom Mindset Reset series. This month, we are focusing on simple systems and mindset shifts that are going to help us feel better in motherhood and just overall help us not be as overwhelmed. Because I am an overwhelmed mom and I know I'm not the only one out there. So if you're interested in that kind of content or you're feeling the way that I've been feeling, then follow along on this journey with me. In today's video, we're going to be talking about routines and how routines aren't about control. It's about creating peace, especially when life feels too heavy. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, whatever you want to drink, and let's get to the video. Routines give structure without the stress of the clock. And I am a routine girly through and through, but ever since I became a mom, I didn't realize how important routines are. And there's a big difference between routines and schedules. I used to think that I had to block schedule just like all these other moms that I see who are like managing their time with their time blocking. I realized quickly that that's just not for me right now in this season. Maybe when my kids get older, but since I am a stay-at-home mom of little kids, routines are just essential in this season. I don't follow a minute by minute schedule, but I know what my mornings, my middays, and my evenings will look like. And that predictability helps my brain rest and helps me feel way less overwhelmed. Okay, so let's break it down. Schedules are time-based and routines are flow-based. Even though there's benefits to both, because I'm not dissing schedules at 100%, there's a time and place, pun intended, for a schedule. But in this case, if you're trying to get rid of some overwhelm or you're feeling stuck in your motherhood and you need some kind of stability, some kind of relief, routines are the best bet. So these are my daily anchor routines. And I love that word anchor. ChatGPT is the bestie girl that I never had. She named it anchor routines and I'm all here for it because an anchor, like a boat anchor, it's something that you have in place that's not going anywhere. These are like the tasks that I do so often that it has become like second nature. It is pretty much a habit at this point. They definitely ground my days and it keeps me moving forward even when life gets a little bit too crazy. So it's like I have an anchor routine in every part of the day and then I have like mini routines throughout those anchor routines, but I'm not going to dive specifically into that. I'm only going to be talking about my morning anchor routine, my midday anchor routine, and my evening anchor routine. My morning anchor routines look like this. Like I mentioned earlier, with routines, they are flexible, but they are stable. So even though I have all of the things here listed out, I don't follow it in that particular order. But sometimes in the morning, if I wake up thirsty, I will drink my water first before I go and open up the curtain and the windows. And this routine can take like literally 10 minutes. My morning anchor routine is pretty much my morning reset routine. So if you didn't see that video from my Mom Mindset Reset series episode 2, then I will link it here below. And I also have a playlist on the other episodes for this series. So if you want to check that out, you can. This is pretty much the routine before the kids get up. It's kind of like my me time, my mom focus time. And then I have a routine when the kids wake up. And then I have a routine before they go to school. And then I have a routine once they go to school. So there's so many ways that I have routines throughout the day. But this is pretty much just the gist of my morning anchor routine. Before I made myself a midday anchor routine, I always felt like in the afternoon I was catching up and then I would get very overwhelmed and frustrated before dinner. And so the midday routine was created so that I wouldn't feel so overwhelmed by the time the kids get home from school. And this is what the midday anchor routine looks like. I pretty much just tidy up the catch-alls. For us, it looks like this ottoman that's right by the door. It's like the first thing that I see when I'm walking out of the hallway or when we walk into the house. So I tidy that up, and it's nothing like fancy. I'm just literally making it look better. Maybe putting things back into its place. I'll be done within like a minute or two. Or I will be tidying up the dining table because that also gets cluttered throughout the day, especially in the morning after school drop off. I like to just tidy it up, put everything away in its place, and then it's clear for me to work. Technically, my midday anchor routine is like nap time routine when my baby girl is napping. And so if I didn't get to do a kitchen reset, I will probably do that in that time. That's probably the one that takes the longest because it's like I'm clearing out the lunch mess, all the dishes and wiping the counters, all of that stuff. But after I do those things, then it's pretty much my me time. And this time around, only for the last couple of months I've been doing this, I usually brain dump in my planner, especially if the day is super heavy or if I have a lot of things on my mind. Then I make myself a drinky drink, and then I try to get something done that I know is going to make me feel better if I get it done. Creating content or editing the content. Before I had this routine, I would just be like, well, I don't know what to do today. Maybe I'll fold the clothes or scroll away on the couch. But some days I still do that, right? Especially when it's that time of the month, you want to just lounge around and do nothing. And I get that. But for me, as someone who's trying to grow her business, as someone who wants to be that girl, I am trying to be better. And for the last couple of months, I put this into my routine, and it's been working so well for me. By the time the kids get home from school or after their nap times, I'm not so overwhelmed because I feel like I got something done with tidying up the areas that need to be tidied. And I got something done for me, guilt free, right? Because when the kids are around, I always feel guilty when I'm doing things for myself. It just helps set the tone for the rest of the afternoon. And just like my morning reset routine or my morning anchor routine, the evening routine is pretty much the reset routine. And I am a firm believer in the evening routine to be, if anything, the most crucial. If you want to start implementing routines into your daily life, start with your evening routine. And I know that there's a lot of podcasts that talk about that too. In order to have a successful morning, you need to prepare the night before. For me and my family, what that looks like is we hustle and bustle to clean up the kitchen in the evening before bedtime. We tidy up the living room from all the clutter and all the toys. It's the most lived in area so that in the morning it's visibly less clutter because it's still cluttered. I mean, I have young children, so it's toys everywhere. Less cluttered is always the goal. And then making sure you know what to expect for tomorrow. So whether you have a planner or a to-do list, and then setting out the clothes for tomorrow if they have school or for yourself. And then you have your wind down routine, right? Whatever that is to you. But for me, it's pretty much just showering, my skincare, and then everything that I can do without the kids because they are sleeping. I also have anchor routines for my Sunday family reset, my Friday financial check-in, and my midweek home reset. So if that's something that you'd like to see on my channel, let me know in the comments. So if you've been following me for a while, I talk a lot about decision fatigue, and it's pretty much less thinking equals less stress. Like less decisions that I have to make throughout the day will equal less overwhelm that I will feel. So if my evening reset is the same every night, then I don't waste any energy doing it. I just do it. If you don't know what decision fatigue is, I go into it more in episode 2 of my Mom Mindset Reset. But basically, decision fatigue drains your mental energy because you're making like thousands and thousands of tiny decisions all day. So decision fatigue drains your mental energy, but routines save it for what really matters. And I feel like that's what I have been feeling most fatigue in, is just making all the tiny little decisions. So having all of that free space in my mind to focus on things that are important helped me to be more present too, is what I've noticed. So if you're watching this and already feeling overwhelmed, this is what I'm going to tell you. Don't overhaul everything. Start small. When I began doing my routines, I started with the evening routine. doing a kitchen reset in the evening, setting out my clothes for tomorrow, and listing my 3 priorities that I need to get done for the next day. And then I added a little bit more. So start small. If you don't want to do 3 tasks, then do one. And if the one is setting out clothes for yourself in the morning, then that is a great start. Whatever is going to benefit you and whatever works for you in your situation, do it, because that kind of predictability is really what your mind and your body is asking for. Trust me, I know. Then once you get into one rhythm, one routine down, then you can start adding in others. And then before you know it, you're going to have them anchored into your mind, anchored into your system that you have, and then it'll become second nature for you too. Think of it as planting one seed at a time, because you cannot expect your garden to grow overnight. And I'm literally talking to myself too. So you don't have to be perfectly organized. You just need small, steady systems and rhythms that can carry you throughout your day, especially the hard days. So let me know in the comments which one of these anchors would help you best right now. And if you want my AM and PM reset checklist, it has simple ideas that can help you with starting your routines, and it is completely free. I linked it down below. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next Mom Mindset Reset video. Together, we are just trying to make motherhood a little lighter, more enjoyable, and less overwhelming, one step at a time. So from one trying mom to another, you are doing a great job.